booktube, it's Amy. I'm back reading from the Anatomy of Bibliomania by Holbrook Jackson. We are on page 136 today. Actually, no, we're on page 137 with their belligerent usefulness. After a long and tedious discourse of these numerous material uses to which books have been put, and their several varieties which are now comprehended under furniture, tools, operations, etc., I am come now at last to horrida bella, or that kind of purpose which is procured only by ultima ratio regium, the abratment of the sword or gun, of which there are several records. Many fear the power of books, as I have shown under influence, and that they have proved a casus belli is well known. But such cavaliers will belike find less to censor in this record of their armigerous use as the munitionment of war. C. and M. Elton, in their description of book collecting in Ireland, make mention, among other matters, of the dispute over the copying of St. Finian's Psalter by St. Columbia, who was passionately devoted to books. St. Finian claimed the copy as his, and when St. Columbia appeared to King Diarmid at the court of Tara, the king upheld St. Finian's claim on the ground that to every mother book belongs the child book, as the cow belongs to her calf. St. Columbia was so enraged that he went over the wild mountains and raised the tribes of Tyrconnell and Tyrone, and a great battle was fought in which King Diarmid was defeated. When Columbia went to Iona to look for his Psalter with him, when Columbia went to Iona, he took his Psalter with him and bequeathed it to the chieftain of the tribe of Tyrconnell. It was then called the Book of the Battle. And if they carried it 3 times round the enemy in one day, they were certain of victory. Their value as life preservers against projectiles and other engines of war hath sundry instances. Many stories tell how books have stopped bullets in their swift and deadly course, and turned the point of swords. But it would seem that only holy books, and of our own faith, are thus to be relied upon. I have no documentary evidence in support of such stories, nor have I discovered any one among my acquaintances who would give me an authentic instance out of his own experience in the Great War, which had such a profusion of marvels. So I shall do no more than record the rumor, which is as persistent as a legend and is readily believed by many. The experienced observer, Dr. Rosenbach, is not among them, in spite of the fact that so many bullet-hole Bibles have been offered to him that his rest has been broken by dreams of armies charging him, each soldier wearing a protecting copy of the Holy Scriptures over his heart. And that is from Dr. Rosenbach's work, Books and Bitters. Whether they have proved successful as armor or not, they are no despicable munition of war in other respects. As weapons, they have done their bit most effectively, as when Dr. Johnson knocked Osborne down with a folio because that notorious bookseller had blamed his learned and diligent employee for negligence. The historic volume, so Sir Leslie Stephen records, a copy of Bibliomania Septuaginta, 1594, was in the possession of a Cambridge bookseller as late as the year 1812. Few will dispute with Stephen when he urges that so desirable an association copy should have been placed in some safe author's museum. Another instance of the use of books as weapons is recorded by Anthony Trollope, whose father often knocked him down with a great folio Bible as a punishment for youthful idleness. As missiles, they are widely appreciated, lending themselves, as they do, both by reason of their size and shape, to sudden precipitation at an offending head. Another, Johnson, William Corey, used them in this manner. He threw a book at any boy in his class at Eton who either flagrantly unoccupied he threw a book at any boy in his class at Eton who was either flagrantly unoccupied or suspiciously absorbed. And it is reported that William Morris hurled a 15th century quarto, which was so precious that he would allow no one to touch it, at the head of a person who had irritated him, and with such force that in the course of its militant career it knocked the panel out of a door. Even in warfare on a larger scale, they are of proved value, as Wilfred Scawen Blunt discovered when he was attacked by the Senussi in the Egyptian desert. whither he had journeyed in the hope that he might find among that remote tribe something of the better traditions of Islam, which he could not find in more civilized Mohammed lands. But the Senussi, believing him to be a spy, attacked, captured, and robbed his caravan, and it was only by adopting passive tactics until he could advise the sheiks of his English nationality that he was permitted to escape with his life. He attributes this maneuver to Doughty's Arabia Desert, which he had been reading on this journey. And that brings us to the end of that section. The next one here is titled Charms, Amulets, and Fortune Tellers. And that one is quite a bit longer than the last few sections we've read. So we'll return with Charms, Amulets, and Fortune Tellers in the next reading.